Hello and welcome back to the Chicken for Breakfast podcast.
Where we have all the answers to one very simple question.
What's cooking?
That's right. We've got another episode coming your way, and this time, a good friend of ours. What's up, Derek? How you feeling?
What's going on? I feel good. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna lie, this is my first actually being on a podcast that's not my own. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a little different.
Yeah, it is a good feeling. I just got invited on a couple of other podcasts, and on that podcast I said the same thing. I'm like, it's always fun to go on someone else's,
right, exactly.
And not have to worry about am I recording? Does my audio sound good? Right, I can just
just chill and
just hang out.
You know what I'm saying?
What's up, David? How you feeling?
I'm doing all right.
I feel like I don't ask you enough on this podcast.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. I haven't I won't say that. I have been in the situation that you've both been in, except it's been the same podcast. So I was a guest on this podcast, and now I'm part of the podcast.
I see what you mean. Yeah, well, that's fair. Well, I think we have a podcast next week, or a couple weeks, coming out on someone else's. So
yeah, that'll be interesting.
We like being on podcasts, everybody. So if you got a podcast, let's collab.
Let's collab.
Speaking of collabing, what's up, Derek? I guess let's start with what's cooking.
So here recently, I created my own podcast. It's called The Real Spill. And what it is we created a safe space for people to come and be able to talk about topics, real life topics that we as a community go through that we feel like you can't talk to therapists about. Because, I know like me, I feel like a lot of therapists can't relate to some of the stuff that I'm talking about because they just ain't been through it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So with that being said, we open up a safe space for people to come in and talk about certain topics. You know what I mean? We always have a new topic every Wednesday and Saturday night, usually around 10:30. And we chose that time because it's wind down time. You know what I'm saying? People laying in bed, they scrolling, you know what I'm saying? So they can go ahead and pop in or whatnot. But we support businesses, you know what I'm saying? Try to support people and what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? And then I also created a film production company called D&D Films. Make sure y'all tap in, add us at dnd.filmproductions and Real Spill, real_spill 2025. But so that's basically what I've been doing. I had seen your podcast where you was talking about gatekeeping, and that's how I feel. I don't want to gatekeep. The film industry is so big and it can be so big. I just want to introduce people into what it is that we be doing behind the scenes and how fun it can be, how productive it can be. This is a field where you cannot lose. People will always want somebody in film and cameras, light, sound, you know what I'm saying? So if you was interested in this, this is where you can prosper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've noticed there's a real passion that has to be there. Mm-hmm. Where I'm not saying that not anyone can do it. That's not true. Anyone can do it, right? But I think there's a level of work that has to go into filmmaking.
Yes.
And once you kind of start getting, there's a lot of videographers, and there's a lot of videographers who are self-proclaimed videographers and self-proclaimed cinematographers and directors of photography, and it's you can ask them some questions if I'm shooting this thing, what kind of lens would I use? What kind of lighting should I use? And you can ask them what's the f-stop of this thing, and they'll be like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And so that's not to say it's the exact opposite, where it's I love teaching people about those things. And could I answer those questions? Not all the time, right? I'm more of a logistical, scheduling, producer type person right now in the film industry. I like watching and helping make things happen from the background. Because I think, to be controlling a camera, to be operating a camera, it takes a lot of skill and it takes an eye. And I don't necessarily have that all the time. I like editing though. So I think there's a level of work that has to go into it, and you have to be able to accept nothing coming from what you're doing. Exactly. As every other artist, right. whoever painted this, right? The value of that is so immense, but to someone who doesn't like art, they're like, It's just a letter on a wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a balance of where are you starting, where are you going, and how much does it mean to you.
Right.
Yeah, I think there are people out there who are so focused on the titles and the money that's supposed to come with them that they kind of skip over the not necessarily the hard work, but the skills that earn you that title. I mean, for me, my in all the projects I've done, it was never really about my name in the credits, my name up on IMDb. Everybody called me, director of photography or producer on set. It was really just about the experience of it and building that skill set and knowing that like the next thing I'm going to do is going to be bigger and better than the last thing I did. And like you said, a lot of the times you get nothing. You get nothing for that. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of sacrifice, but you do it because you love it. I mean, I love this stuff.
I love it.
I don't know about anyone else, but I love this stuff.
It, exactly.
There's nothing I'd rather be doing, and I'm thankful for that. I'm very thankful for that.
Sure.
I know so many people who are just like, I have no idea what I want to do, or I'm doing something but I hate it, and I'm like,
I feel bad.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah,
couldn't
exactly.
be me.
My biggest example is this podcast, right? I've been doing this for like 3 years. Mm-hmm. We've been through, different co-hosts. David, you're kind of here. You're kind of permanent.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, and we're getting to a level where we're changing our content types and we're adding new things and we're exploring new opportunities and we're just having more fun.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we've always been doing is like there's a level of professionalism and production value that we want to add and maintain. There's also a level of like, I know what I'm doing and I'm having fun doing it and this is what I want to do and it pays off if one person has a good time.
Yeah.
And changing the world through art is what we do. And it kind of sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yes. It's funny that you mentioned sacrifice though, because I actually was in the same situation just not too long ago. So I was working 3 jobs, not even gonna lie to you. Like I was beating myself up. And I didn't have time to shoot. And so I was just really getting annoyed about that because I was just like, man, listen, like, it's not always about the money. Like, shooting has never been about the money for me, for real. Like, I literally have been doing so much stuff for free, and it's to build my portfolio, but it's also because, like you said, like, you gotta love it. Like, you love it. I love doing this, you know what I'm saying? So I never, anytime somebody needs to do something, I'm like, let me do it, you know what I'm saying? Not because I'm trying to get paid for it, but because I want I want to experience, like I want that experience. Every single time that I shoot, I feel like I'm learning something new every single time. Every single time I'll go on the set, or every single time I'm trying to do something, it's just like something more clicks in where it's just like, okay, well, I can do this better. I can do this better. I can do this better. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's the beauty of it. Like being able to bring somebody's dream to fruition through the eyes of the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like that is so huge to me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I quit 2 jobs actually. And now I just have one simple job that I work. And I mean, it's cool, but I have time to actually shoot now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for real, it just makes my workload a little easier, and it makes me feel better to know that like I got set days where I can be like, okay, Saturday and Sundays are my off days. Those are my shooting days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then of course I'm a father, so you know that's 24/7. But to be able to have those days, you know what I'm saying? That's really cool. But yeah, so the film production team, well, I don't actually have a team yet. It's just me. But it's gonna come together. It's gonna come to light. Like I said, I'm trying to introduce people in the film and stuff like that. With the saying that, you know what I'm saying. I hope to make sure that I collaborate with Studio Zero or iFilm so that I can help bring more people into. And then you know what I'm saying, like we could just be this whole huge thing to where you know what I'm saying. We got everybody wanting to be a part of this industry. You know what I mean. But I'm working on a film. Called If God Could Talk. Yeah. So it's basically like, you know when you got this first instinct, your conscience, where it'd be like, don't do that. And then, you know, we always be like, I should have went it with my first thought. So basically, I took it as that first thought is always God. He gonna tell you, like, look, I'm gonna tell you once, like, don't do it. And then if you go against it, sometimes you might slide, sometimes you don't. But like if you don't, and then you like, man, I should have went with my first thought. So that's what the basis of the story is around. Like if God could talk, and then I'm gonna basically like it'll be me or a talent, whoever it is, and you know they'll be in like in what is it, like a opaque form, to where it's like.
Yeah, where they're kind of faded, kind of transparent.
Yes. So it'll be like that, and they'll be like trailing me, always behind me. So it'll be certain things. It'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Then you will see them like maybe whisper in your ear or there, or you will just be having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And then you will be basically talking to yourself, but it's in God's image, but the image is you. Y'all like your conscience. You know what I'm saying? So your conscience is basically God, but you're seeing yourself. And so you contemplate certain decisions or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? I'm still working it out, working out the kinks. But that's the basis of, you know what I'm saying, what I want to shoot. So I'm just trying to get my hands into that more or less, you know what I mean? But
so you're writing it right now?
I am.
That's dope.
That's great.
Yeah.
Man, everyone's coming on talking about their movies lately, and I need to write my movie, man.
Yeah.
I need to just go ahead and write the movie.
What's your movie based on? I mean, like, what's it
I don't know. I've been contemplating with this idea. I don't think I'm ready to share the idea yet.
Oh, heard that.
Yeah. Okay. There's a level. It's very modern. It's a very modern take on relationship. With I'll throw a hint in.
Okay.
AI.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes. I'll leave it there. I'll leave
Taking
it now.
it there.
Now we're not gonna use AI to make the movie. I'm not a fan of AI making movies, but it's about AI. It'll be fun.
That's dope.
So stick around for that.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot of people are working on movies right now, like the ideas, the writing. You know, it got to me. You know, I'm working on a little something behind the scenes too. I got 2 projects I'm working on right now. One of them, I can't remember if we've talked about it, but I can't remember if I've talked about it. But one I want to do as a short or a series of shorts, where lifelong criminals realize that we're actually going to go to hell if we die. And so they try to turn their life around by undoing all the crimes they've ever committed.
That's deep.
So I want to do that more as, you know, I want it to be lighthearted. I want it to be comedy. When I think about it, I get kind of almost Three Stooges vibes from it. But I want it to have like a nice, like deep core that's not necessarily like this one religion or this one belief system, but just like undoing all those things that you know deep in your heart of hearts that like you've hurt some people.
Right.
And then I'm working on another one that I'm doing research on, and I don't know if it's how far it's going to get. This one I see as a feature film, which is a lot, considering I haven't really written a short before. I have a little bit here and there, but I've never. But you know, feature's a whole. It's a whole other
thing. Yeah.
And this would be a feature based on Greek gods, because I love like classical mythology and Greek and Roman and all that stuff. So I wanted to do something in that vein. I've been doing a lot of research lately. Who knows if we'll ever get to that, but I keep that one in my back pocket. But this one about the criminals is something I'm really interested in getting out there.
Yeah, I when you were telling me about that idea, I was like, this is so fun.
Yeah.
No one's stealing it, by the way.
No.
We're
Right,
watching
that's
it.
what I was thinking too, right? No, you know where you got that idea from, for real.
Yeah, we're watching.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice here, John. But you're a murderer. You can keep telling us this tale of innocence, But at some point, you're going to realize the extremes you're willing to go for the truth. You see, sir? Mr. Bush here is going to hurt you.
With pleasure.
But I do quite enjoy watching it. I admit I'm part fiend. First, he's going to masterfully beat you until either you bleed to death or
Kennedy, is that you, caveman? You know I told Garfield and Carter that you wouldn't die easy.
Tell me about you. Are you local or a transplant?
Transplant from out west.
Really? What part?
Various places.
All right, guys, this is our target. Jessica Bacon, all right, 35 years old, single, lives alone.
I'm sorry.
No family of record.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Those questions will be monitored via a digital brain scan. If you lie to me, we will know. And we will hurt you.
Sorry, yeah, can you go channel 232 for SA? OTC, Copy that.
I think the idea is really cool because I see it comically.
Yeah.
But there's always, it's like a Scooby-Doo, but with criminals trying to make things right.
Yeah.
It's a really cool concept.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you brought up Scooby-Doo, because Scooby-Doo for me is one of those things I've been waiting to see someone recreate.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
That feeling of it.
Oh.
That style of it.
Okay.
Right? That's something I would like to make. I don't know if that's this project, but I really like that style of TV show, that style of storytelling. That's something I would want to make sometime in the future.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't have a lot of hot take. Hold up. I feel like we don't have a lot of iconic things happening. There's not a lot of iconic movies from the last few years, especially Christmas movies.
Yeah, I feel like the big cultural movies kind of died with Avengers Endgame. Yeah. And that was a big moment in history. And then, I haven't really seen anything that makes me think this is game changing or this is going to be a staple, like a Christmas movie or something like that. The last big Christmas movie that I think is in the pantheon of Christmas movies is Polar Express for me.
Yeah. Even though that's wild. The animation on that's pretty wild.
It is.
But it's fun.
Is.
I do like the Polar Express. I've just seen it so many times. It's kind of one of those, I'll watch it.
That's fair. I've seen A Christmas Story
Oh, God.
I don't even know how many times I've seen that movie, but too many.
Even the one where he grew up and then, they kind of did the spinoff of the Christmas Story.
I actually never saw that.
For real?
I actually never saw that.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it's crazy, being in film. So, and I'm pretty sure y'all can relate to this. Watching movies, you don't actually watch them now. You break them down. You decipher the movies into thirds and angles and what lenses is being used and who did the sound and what kind of sound or if whoever had the camera you know what I'm saying, it's too much shaking or whether they're using a gimbal or something like that. I cannot actually watch a movie anymore.
Yeah. It's actually kind of crazy how often I see shaky camera stuff.
Yes, ain't it? How much you would really pay attention?
I'm okay, hold up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, when as a teacher at Ohio Media School, when I get a new class in, that's one of the first things I tell them is when you learn all of this stuff, it'll change the way you look at movies. Mm-hmm. And for some people, it ruins movies for them. I have friends, good friend of mine, Patrick, is a lot of the time, I can't really get into movies anymore because all I can see is my work. All I can see is the stuff I do. I criticize, what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I like movies better. I can still get lost in a movie, but now I have the added benefit of I'm really blown away by some of the stuff they do on movies.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of in between those two, where I'm kind of I watch movies, and a lot of them I'm man, this is crazy, and there's some cool things. I'll be sitting there, I'll be oh, that was a cool shot, and I'll say it out loud without realizing.
Right.
That was a cool shot. Or, okay, we've seen this, a I don't know if I should name drop movies, but I'm gonna name drop a
name
movie.
drop some movies.
Fast and Furious. They do. I think it's number 8. It's 7 or 8. They do the spin move every time there's like a action or something. They just keep doing the spin move. And the first time I saw it out loud, oh, that was a cool shot. And then like 4 minutes later, they did the same thing in the same scene, and I was like,
yeah, I
man,
kind of
you
noticed
killed it
that
for
too.
me.
Like,
Yeah, you killed it for me. And I'm not saying it's not a cool shot, but for me, I'm like, am I not? Am I tripping on this? Am I overthinking this shot now? So I think for me, I watch movies and I see these things, and I have a taste, and I know things. And so like I was watching Pulp Fiction, and for me, they're sitting in certain places, and I'm like, oh, they shot this, and then it cuts over, and then they cut this back. I was like, oh, they scheduled all that at the same day, right? They shot all this in one day. I think like that. But if there is a movie that I'm not thinking about how well it was shot, it's a good movie. If it catches my attention enough that I'm not actually thinking about film,
right.
I'm like, okay, this might be good.
Yeah.
That's how I know it's a good movie.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a wrong take, but I don't know.
I think for me, what it really kind of became is like, though shots, angles, compositions, all that type of stuff, that's as part of the movie as the actor delivering a line, as the music rising up at this one, important part of the thing. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it for me is like, I've accessed another part of the movie that previously I wasn't really in tune to.
Right.
And so like, I still think like when I watch stuff and I'm really into it, I think I still notice a lot of the stuff. But that just adds to it. That just adds to it for me. But 100%, there are movies I've seen where like a shaky camera. If you ever watch like kind of older movies, 70s, 80s, even into the 90s, I think, watch how often when they zoom, how shaky the camera is.
Yeah.
You'll see it. You'll see it everywhere.
And sometimes it's intentional.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Like
sometimes
The Office, I think they do that intentionally, where they do like the quick like shaky push.
But back then, when you didn't have the really nice focus pullers and the zoom pullers that are all digital and wireless and all motorized, it was done by hand, and there might be a little shake in there.
That's what I was thinking too. Like that had to be done manually. When you look at it, it's like, yeah, they had to be, because you could really pay attention. Like you really pay attention, you would see it. Like, why is he shaking like that? Like, this is a movie. You know what I'm saying? You would think like, you know what I'm saying, during production or after post production, you just like, well, I wonder if they caught that or not. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of it might be that like we're just so used to like really clean, almost sterilized movies, where like there was camera shake back then, and everybody was cool with it.
Everybody was cool with it.
And these are movies. These are like Scorsese movies have it, and it's like this dude is no slouch. He's been making movies for like 100 years. The guy's in his 90s. He's still making movies. Like I'm sure they all caught it, but that was just part of filming.
That was a thing,
right? In the same way with like film grain. Film grain was just a part of the movie. It was just part of the chemical process. And now that everything's digital and gimbals and AI and stabilization and all that stuff, I think you kind of forget how, I don't know, real or visceral movies can be.
Like how far along they came to. Like
it's a miracle.
For the love of film, bro.
It's a miracle any of this stuff was ever made.
Right.
And when they do stuff in older movies, I'm like, I have no idea how y'all did that.
No, for
I
sure.
have no idea how you guys did this stuff, because in my mind it shouldn't even be possible.
Yeah, it lets you know like the creativity that was really like kind of, they was thinking on a whole nother level of creativity. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, how did you get that shot off for real? Like, and it real how you sitting back thinking like, to the point where I might be Googling some stuff like so shot.
Yeah, you gotta Google it.
Yeah.
For the record, Fast and Furious, I still love the franchise. I still love the franchise.
Yeah. Speaking of the Fast and the Furious, my older brother he's always been kind of I don't want to say hippie. I don't want to say, but he's always been kind of on the outside of like culture and that type of stuff. He's always been like the slam poetry, the folk music, that kind of stuff. And so it was very funny to me when he said my favorite movie franchise is Fast and the Furious. So I'm like, you must be into some crazy art house, you know, something, some other, you know, foreign film type thing. You're just like, yeah, the Fast and the Furious. Yeah. I'm like, there you go. Which one's the best? Tokyo Drift.
No, that's hands down the best.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Fast 9 was pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Fast 9 was pretty good.
Yeah. I'll say, like, for me, I'm not a super artsy film guy. I'm, like, not super artsy.
What do you mean?
Like, I like my Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. And then I like kind of a tier above that, kind of I think you kind of got your, like, Scorsese, you know, where they're still fun movies, but they're a little more serious. And then you kind of get into movies about ideas that are, like, really about an idea. What's a movie like that I can bring up?
I see what you mean, though, yeah.
You know, and then you get, like, I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but then you get into, like, the weird kind of experimental, like, different kind of filmmaking skills and all of that. And that's where you get into really artsy stuff. And I'm not really all about that. As much as I'd like to pretend, I'm like, oh, yes, this film you've never heard of is actually the greatest movie in the world. But, like, that doesn't really grab me all the time. Every now and then, it'll get me. Some stuff that's kind of out there. If you haven't seen a movie called, I'm going to butcher the name. I think it's called Tons of Beavers. It's, I want to say that's the name. I'm totally getting it wrong. But that's kind of like an out there movie. It's black and white. It's done in a Looney Tunes style. All of the beavers in the movie are just guys in giant beaver costumes. And it's kind of arty and it's kind of weird out there. But it's also one of the funniest movies like I've seen in a long time. And so that doesn't always grab me. But every now and then there comes along kind of like an artsy film that like, I don't think I would like this. Where I sit down and I'm like, okay, they got me. They got me.
I feel you. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any movies like that.
I like movies like, you ever seen The Hateful Eight?
Yeah.
Movies like that, you know what I'm saying? More of a, I mean, it's easy to shoot. The storyline is low-key simple, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like segments where it's like, I love movies like that where it's like scene 1 and scene 2, especially, what's his name?
That's Tarantino movies all the way.
Quentin Tarantino.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to
name.
seem uncultured.
Oh,
yeah.
That's his name.
Really?
Tarantino.
Okay, I thought you were
Yeah.
trying to talk about someone else.
No. Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
Yes,
Tarantino.
I love a Quentin Tarantino film, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the way that he shoots, you know what I'm saying? I like his the way that he thinks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you get into like a Tim Burton where he just like poof, like some of those films just be like outrageous to me, but I just love the way, like how the perspective of how he's coming at each like the Alice in Wonderland joint, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, weird, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, it's just the craziness of how the movie is being shot, man. I just be like fascinated with it, like dang, like my time coming to where I can shoot something close to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I always be looking. I look at movies and just be like, that's gonna be me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a world driven by connectivity, access to the digital realm has become a necessity. But what happens when certain communities are left behind, confined to the wrong side of the digital divide? Introducing Digital C, the champion of bridging the gap and empowering communities. Digital redlining, a practice perpetrated by the big guys, has created inequalities in access to vital digital resources. But Digital C is here to change the game, fighting against this injustice. For just $18 per month, Digital C offers high-speed internet, digital literacy programs, and a lifeline to opportunity. We believe that everyone deserves a fair chance to thrive in the digital age.
As the CEO of Digital C, I believe that countering digital redlining is one of our #1 priorities. Us being able to prioritize residents is in our way of saying that no more to the digital redlining that was perpetuated by some of the big companies.
Digital C is not just an internet service provider. We are a catalyst for change. By dismantling the barriers of digital redlining, we are creating a level playing field for all. Join the movement, stand with Digital C, and be a part of the solution. Together, we can bridge the digital divide and empower communities to thrive in the digital era. Digital C, connecting communities, empowering lives.
Well, I think we could genuinely sit here and talk about movies all day.
All day.
I do want to bring it kind of right back in as we kind of wrap up the podcast here today. Derek, thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
talk really briefly on where we can kind of see you heading and your company, D&D. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So basically, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I really don't know what direction it's going right now. Right now, it's just one of them pick it up and just roll with what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Later on down the line, I'm pretty sure like I'll have a direction of where I want to go to or like which kind of film I want to shoot. But for now, I just want to open up doors and opportunities for people to actually be involved in film, you know what I mean? And to share my knowledge of what I know and to invite people into the community of film with the people that I know, you know what I'm saying? So that's basically where I'm at with that. The podcast is really like my big thing. I'm really trying to open it up to really, like I said, it's a community where we're trying to promote unity, you know what I'm saying? Respect, communication, support, you know what I mean? Because we don't have enough of that. Everybody got to feel like they're in competition, you know? And I just, like, we shouldn't be in competition. I feel like anybody who does podcasts, shoot film, or, you know what I'm saying, in this industry, we should all be supporting each other. We should all, you know what I mean?
I mean, you really have to. It's kind of baked into it. Like, you can't really do a podcast without guests.
Right, exactly.
You know, and you can't really make a film. You can make it on your own, but that's a lot.
It's a lot, bro.
So I was actually thinking about this the other day. I think we talked about this briefly, where it's like, what if we did a podcast with just me and David the whole time and we just talk about random things? Some people can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we can do that. And the reason I don't think, we might be able to, but I think part of what makes our show so great is bringing light to the community and bringing light to people like yourself who, hey man, I'm just starting out this business. I'm just starting out this thing. And I love film and I want to talk about this and I want to bring the community together. We have some recurring themes from the guests on our show. And what we care about, because we do it, is teaching and helping the community and helping people become greater. I've said this before on the very first episode of Chicken for Breakfast, and I don't think I've brought it up since. My motto in life is Sic Parvis Magna, which is from a video game. What is it? Uncharted. Favorite video game franchise of all time. But it means greatness from small beginnings. So for me, not only is that applicable to me and what I'm doing in life, but it's success in general, I think. And everyone is that. So I think that's a cool motto that I like to live by, where it's like, if I can help you get successful from being small at the beginning, success is small at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've noticed that, like, this is a win in a small way, and then it grows to a bigger win in a bigger way. That's linear.
Yeah.
Progress isn't linear, but your growth is. And sometimes it's exponential, right? So I think what we stand for and what y'all stand for and kind of the direction that you're taking things, it's great, man. And I definitely appreciate having you on and talking about it.
I appreciate being on, man. Like I said, it's like, for instance, like how we doing this right now, like I'll make sure that, you know what I'm saying, I share your podcast so everybody can see your podcast. With that being said, people can know that, I have a podcast also. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's the support and the unity that I'm talking about, like us helping each other to get out here so people can know that. But, you got some people who just, they don't want to be a part of something. I don't understand how you don't want to be a part of growth. You know what I'm saying? For yourself included.
Well, and it comes from a mindset of like, I'm great. And I'm not saying you're not great, but they just don't really like sharing. There's a lot of selfishness in the world. And I think the moment that David and I make this podcast about us, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't really, it's fun to do a podcast with just us. And we do it regularly and we have fun with it.
I enjoy it, yeah.
But there's also a level of, we don't want to be just us. We want to help other people come with us. Exactly. We want to highlight other people and show other levels and other things and we want to just showcase other people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes Chicken for Breakfast so great. And we continue to do that with our new shows and our new installments, and it gets creative and it gets fun. But at the end of the day, it's community. Yeah. So I definitely want to shout out your podcast one more time. So if you want to go ahead and plug it up.
Make sure y'all add us at The Real Spill, REAL_Spill 2025. We'll be featuring a lot more other people, artists, business owners, podcasts, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to make the community bigger and, you know, create unity within the community and show our support, man, within the film industry. And don't forget to add D&D Film Productions. We got a lot of projects going on. We definitely going to be collaborating with Studio Zero 106. Yeah. So be watching out for that, man, because, like, it's finna get huge. Like, you finna hear our names running around Cleveland. Like, that's my thing. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it to where, like, this is all you hear. Studio Zero, D&D Films, you know what I'm saying? Interval Films, like, Chicken for Breakfast podcast. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm on, bro. Yeah.
No, that's great.
That's real. Yeah. Shall we end it off here?
I think so.
All right. So thank you all for watching this episode.
Absolutely.
Derek, great having you on, man. Great catching up, too.
Thank you, man.
It's good seeing you.
Yeah, I did want to say that, too. Yeah, thanks for great seeing you, man.
I have to say, issue a correction. Hundreds of Beavers is the name of the movie I'm thinking
Hundreds of Beavers.
It is free on YouTube. You should check it out.
For sure.
It's a good time if you're into that Looney Tunes style.
Fast and Furious 11, put me in the crew, please.
Well, thank you all for watching. We'll have more great episodes just like this. And remember, chicken is a slow food.
And breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
So why not start your day out right with chicken for breakfast? Peace. Also, random side note, the new Shrek 5 animation, horrible.